Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm going to continue a little line of videos that I started about getting beginners into the credit card game. And now we've touched on the beginner cards and some of the examples that I've given you. We've also went through some of the terms and things and concepts that you should be aware of before you graduate to the next level. And with that being said, it's time to get into mid-tier cards. It is time to get to level 2. You're not in kindergarten anymore. You're not with the basics anymore. Now you're moving around, you're strategizing, you're optimizing, and that's what this video is going to be about. And before we get into it, please, I'm going to ask, as always, please tap dance on that like button. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate if you do so. I would love to have you. And as always, I save the best for last. Share and comment. I love the comments. I will talk to you. I do a lot of hours in the hospital, but I will make time to talk to you because I really sincerely love the interaction. I say that all the time. It ought to be my catchphrase. Now, to introduce our level 2 or mid-tier cards, you'll hear me use a bunch of interchangeable terms, but our mid-tier cards, the ones I'm going to introduce to you aren't really the actual cards, but categories of cards that you can consider. Because I like a lot of cards out there, and frankly, this video would be forever and a day if I took specific cards, and I feel like I wouldn't really do you justice if I cherry pick cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you categories, and these are cards that you can research, and by all means, if you see a card that you like, or if you have questions about a card, you want to see a video about it, or you want me to research it, by all means, leave it down in the comments. I would appreciate that, and I will get to work on it. I love doing request videos. Lastly, before we get into it, I have the categories, but there are things that you have to understand, especially if we go back to the concepts video. It's going to be quick. But there are things that mid-tier cards are going to possess that may not be with the beginner cards, and these are things that you need to understand. First and foremost, most of them are going to have a lucrative sign-up bonus. They're definitely going to be more lucrative than the level below them. They are going to grant you a decent amount of points and or miles, proprietary currency, or they'll give you a cashback return, which is pretty considerable compared to whatever spend requirement they have. So I need you to be aware of that. Also, most of them, not all of them, some of the ones I'm going to name don't have one, but most of them will have an annual fee. At this point now, they're really not trying to give away freebies. So be prepared for an annual fee, and ranging anywhere from, in some cases, $49 all the way up to $250, even right under $300. And those are going to be your mid-tier cards. Next, your mid-tier cards are going to have some sort of category. They're not going to be your catch-all. Some of them may have catch-all characteristics, but they will have specific targeted categories, whether they be fixed, rotating, or customizable. Your mid-tier cards are also going to introduce you to credits to mitigate the annual fee should they possess one, and in some cases the credit could be a sweetener if you have a mid-tier card that does not have an annual fee, so that you can get outsized value from it. And lastly, your mid-tier cards, some, but not all, normally will have a downgrade path. They will be middle of the pack, normally in a family of cards. So they'll probably be the second of 3, or maybe even the third of 5, or the fourth of 5. But normally they will be in some sort of line of succession with other cards in their family that you can move about, so it gives you a little flexibility. So now for the first category of cards, we have what I call lifestyle cards. Now what I define as a lifestyle card is a card that has categories for particular facets of your life. Specific spending categories. One of the most popular lifestyle cards is the American Express Gold Card, which everyone knows is a workhorse card because people use it to eat. That is eating is some people's lifestyle, whether it's dining out, getting food delivered, grocery shopping. That is definitely a lifestyle card. That's what I would consider a lifestyle card. Also, lifestyle cards will also include, to a lesser extent, co-branded cards. Like Chase just came out with the new Instacart credit card, and that I would consider a lifestyle card. It's co-branded with another company while being sent out by a major issuer. So if you want to think in those terms, just remember your lifestyle card is going to have multiple categories. Now, some of these categories are going to mix and mingle, but you'll see that some of the cards will definitely skew towards one more so than others. But those are going to be your lifestyle cards. They're going to earn points, most of the time in interchangeable currency, like their flexible currency, like Citi Thank You points, for instance, Amex MR points, Chase UR points, or they'll earn some or the other sort of currency, which you can normally be able to trade for cash, or you can transfer for some sort of other perk, or be able to trade them for goods, because also most lifestyle cards are attached to issuers that have online portals where you can use your points to buy items. And I can't end off this category without mentioning some cards I am actually interested in, which I think are pretty good lifestyle cards, like the Wells Fargo autograph card. It's a new card. That thing has categories galore that people can use to strategize how they gain cash back. There's the Refresh Blue Cash Every Day that American Express has just put out. I've already mentioned the Gold card, the Instacart card. There's also the Apple card, because it's not just a straight cashback card. It's not just a straight catch-all card. There you can actually strategize, your earnings with the Apple card as well, just as an example. Now, moving on to our next category. This category are cards that I call rotators. These are the flexible category cards. Now, cards in this category will have rotating categories, or they will have customizable categories, categories that you can pick to maximize your earnings. Now, the first thing about these cards is some of them don't have annual fees, like the Citi Custom Cash or the Chase Freedom Flex. Now, if you're wondering why I will put the Freedom Flex as an intermediate card, it's because this, unlike the Freedom Unlimited, which in some cases also can be considered an intermediate card, but is so incredibly easy to use, that's why I left it with the beginners. With the Freedom Flex, you have to stay on top of your categories, make sure that you're strategizing and using your categories appropriately to maximize your return. Now, also with the rotating categories cards, they'll pretty much all be limited, because these categories will be elevated over the normal return rate that you'll see in most spending categories. So you'll get up to 5 and the 6%, and they will cap them. They will limit them, because, after all, the issuers are in the business of making money. But as a strategizer, most of the times you'll see rotating cards, such as the ones I named. You'll see them paired with other cards so that they can maximize the amount of points that they gather, and then the rotating card will get put away, and then it will only come out to play when the categories are good. But in some cases, like with the Citi Custom Cash, you can actually specify your categories. Another great card where you can specify 5% back, 5x back is the US Bank Cash Plus. Now, there are many of these cards out here. That's why I'm giving you the categories, because you're going to want to research, you want to look in these cards. Now, I'm including some of the card graphics as well, just to give you something to go off of. Now, our third category is actually similar to the first, but the subcategory is so big it has its own offshoot, and that's going to be your airline and your hotel cards. Now, this is important because travel's expensive. Let's just not, beat around the bush. It is expensive. Now, normally these cards they can also be defined as co-branded cards, just like some of the ones I named earlier. But the difference between these are, normally their sign-up bonuses are going to be very lucrative, because hotel and airline points tend to be very devalued. They're not terribly valuable across the board. So they can afford to give you tons of these points. And the fact that a lot of hotels and airlines have moved to dynamic pricing instead of price schedules, which works in their favor and not ours, tends to further devalue their proprietary currency. Now, also, they're going to hold to some of the categories, some of the characteristics I said earlier. They're going to have great sign-on bonuses. They're going to have, some of them have decent categories, some of them don't. And then with them, their currency that they're going to own, that they're going to earn, is their proprietary currency. It's going to be just Delta Sky miles. So they can stamp Amex all over the thing. You're never going to see an MR point because it's just a Delta card. American Airlines has their AA Advantage cards. I don't even know if I'm saying it right because I can't stand American Airlines, and that's no secret, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but they do have a family of cards that is very popular, that has at least 4 or 5 in them. Like I said, I didn't even want to look at them because I don't like them, but they are there, and they do have a family of cards that allows users flexibility, and they are popular. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean other people don't like American Airlines, but they're a great example of a good flexible group of credit cards that are airline cards. Now, you also have hotel cards, like the Hilton family of hotel cards that Amex offers. And one of the best hotel cards, period, the Hilton Aspire. Great categories, super high multipliers, which lets you know that the currency may not be the most valuable, but that it has great benefits, and that free night anywhere. Well, I'm sure you've probably already watched the YouTube channels and everybody talking about it, but those are going to be your hotel and airline cards. We'll just mix them into travel card. Well, they're considered travel cards as well, also lifestyle cards, but literally they have their own niche, so I gave them their own category. Now, fourth category are business cards. Now, with the beginner cards, I didn't want to include business cards because people tend to be apprehensive. They tend to assume that they can't get a business card unless they have an EIN from the IRS. And a lot of people think that there's a mystique around business cards, and there really isn't. Anybody can get one. Now, I've also included a video that I'm going to link here where even I explain that the IRS has a very, 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 very loose definition on what a business actually is. And a sole proprietorship is a business. You are a business, potentially. Now, with business cards, one of the great things about them is that they have all the characteristics that I listed before. The Chase Ink collection are a fantastic collection of business cards. I like Amex, and Amex offers great business cards with super high sign-up bonuses. And when you have a business card, except from certain select providers, they don't hit your personal credit. So normally businesses are expected to spend. In some cases, they are expected to carry balances forward. So your personal credit is not penalized for holding a business card. And they also come with the same perks, some of the same perks, and in some cases, even better perks than personal cards, because let's just face it, business owners are rewarded for owning businesses. So let's keep that in mind. Your level 2 cards, gonna be business cards. Some of them are no annual fee, such as the American Express, Blue Business Plus, and Blue Business Cash. And some of them do carry an annual fee, like the Chase Ink Preferred, or the Amex Marriott Bonvoy Business. So you have a mix there. I told you not all the cards would have annual fees, and that includes the business cards, but that's definitely, they sit very comfortably in the mid-tier range, in general, that is. Now, finally, the fifth category are what I call gateway cards. Now, you have beginner cards and even other mid-tier cards that will earn transferable currencies, but they can only be redeemed as cash back unless you have what I refer to as a gateway card. One of the most famous gateway cards is the Chase Sapphire Preferred and its older brother or bigger brother, the Chase Sapphire Reserve. You also have the City Premier. Just to give you an idea, these are cards that you have to hold in order to convert your convertible currencies that you will earn from their fee-free brethren, like the Freedom Flex, the Custom Cash, the City Double Cash. You have to hold these cards in order to convert the currency that you earn from the smaller guys into travel, into better ways to get cash back. Your gateway cards are going to allow you to be even more flexible with your already flexible currency. So let's just keep those in mind, that, and I just named the most famous ones. I'm sure there are other gateway cards out there that will allow other cards to really just open up to a wider world where you can pool points and do things other than just get cash back. As a matter of fact, just recently, because I'm not terribly locked into the Capital One ecosystem, but with Capital One's offering, the Venture X, which is not an intermediate card here. That's for another video, but that too, even though it's higher than an intermediate card, is technically a gateway card, because even if you have one of the cash back, like the Quicksilver, the dollars that you earn there can be interchangeably used as miles there. I've actually seen this online. That's what data points suggest. And I don't really worry, because I know, because you guys like to comment, I take correction very well. But this one I'm incredibly sure of. But there it is. Those are my categories of mid-level cards. You have your lifestyle cards. You have your rotating category cards. You have your airline and hotel cards. You have your business cards, and you have your gateway cards. All of these are going to be for people who, okay, I've done the catch-all, I've amassed a few points, but now I want to be able to move, I want to be able to shake, I want to be able to earn points at a higher rate. These are for optimizers, these are for strategizers. So now it's not just about earning, but it's about earning with a purpose and stockpiling points for maybe that rainy day, for hedging inflation. Also, you may want to stockpile points for that once-in-a-lifetime aspirational trip that you're going to get hooked on and you're going to start traveling like anyway, because I'm telling you, it just gets you bougie. You know, you can use all of these cards in order to do that. With your airline cards and your hotel cards, they'll give you things like that are status light. You may not have status with these companies, but you'll get some of the perks of status. And in some cases, they'll give you status just for holding the card. Remember, all your mid-level cards are going to give you benefits that, you know, you're definitely going to want to read up on. You're definitely going to make sure you don't overlap, because we still have another level of cards to go, and that's going to be the pro cards, and we're going to make a video about that in the very near future, but I just want to give you the mid-level. Now, also, as always, I'm going to say it again, is that if you want to see a certain card featured, by all means, leave it in the comments. If I touched on a card and you want to know more about it, leave it in the comments. I want to know what you think. This is my opinion. Definitely, I'm not the end-all, be-all. There are bigger channels out there than me. There are much other people that people would consider an authority. But these are the things that I've seen, and I just wanted to share it with you. So I hope you enjoyed. Once again, please hit the like, share, subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you later.